Thank you, Claire. Hello, everybody. It's good to be here. I was at the session in November and I thought it was terrific. So it's very good to be back. Imi and I work together on the Relationships Project. We are both Robinsons, but we're not related, which is really the question most people most want to ask when we do something together. And Tony, who you're going to hear from a bit later on in the session, as Claire said earlier, is a director in Hammersmith, but he works with us as a volunteer. So the tools he's going to talk about are also relationships project tools. The Relationships Project began a few years ago, really born out of experience as a community worker in East London, where over many years I began to feel that whatever the difficulties that we were tackling were, over and over again, we were seeing relationships either broken down or never existing to a meaningful degree. And over again, in very different kinds of ways, in projects or in policy responses, we were trying to repair or build new relationships. So the Relationships Project was born out of that experience, and really out of the belief that everything works better when relationships are valued. So when we don't think of them as sort of the fully extra on the side, but we really think of them as the central operating principle, whether what we're trying to do is run a classroom or run a school or run a council department or run a small team, plan a neighborhood, whatever it might be. If we think about relationships first and foremost as that central operating principle and then build out from that, the results tend to be a great deal better. We're doing three things essentially. We're building the body of knowledge around those ideas. We are, and this is really the centerpiece of the project, developing resources, the kinds of tools you're going to be hearing about in a moment, resources and training, building on what we are learning from practice on the ground. And thirdly, we're trying to draw that together and build out on that field. The work that Im is going to be talking to you about in a moment is one of the tools that we've been developing out of the experience of the last year, when we have, like everybody else, been thinking about the impact on our relationships and social behavior and how that has changed during the course of the pandemic. And we ran something called the Observatory, where we were drawing insights and observations from all over the country about how relationships were changing, and using that to develop some ideas about how we might change behavior in the future. And we've published a number of sets of materials around that, which we can link you up to if you're interested after this session. But Imi and Tony are going to talk to you about two specific aspects of that in a moment. So thank you again for having us. And once again, if you'd like to know more about us, do have a look at our website.